Today I'm going to review Soylent Green.
We've got to stop him!
What is the secret of Soylent Green?
Please!
Soylent Green came out in 1973 and it's an American dystopian thriller. The film's set in the future in 2022. It was directed by Richard Fleischer, based on the 1966 sci-fi novel Make Room, Make Room by Harry Harrison. Music was by Fred Myrow and he did the music for Phantasm. The film runs 97 minutes. It earned $3.6 million and got good reviews at the time. It also won some awards. The 1973 Nebula Award for Best Dramatic Presentation and the Saturn Award for Best Science Fiction Film. However, Harry Harrison had mixed opinions on the film based on his novel and had no creative control with the film. He said he was only 50% happy with the finished product. This would be Edward J. Robinson's 101st final film. He died 2 months after finishing filming. He passed away because of cancer. Soylent Green stars
Charlton Heston, Edward G. Robinson, Chuck Connors, Leigh Taylor-Young, Brock Peters, Paula Kelly, and Joseph Cotten.
In a dystopian New York City set in 2022, a police detective played by Charlton Heston investigates the murder of a businessman from a synthetic food corporation. However, his investigation begins to lead him towards a sinister truth, and we find out what exactly is in the food. People. So this is a fairly realistic sci-fi film set 50 years into the future, and it's a fairly realistic version of the future, so you don't get these spaceships flying around. It's done in a serious way. So it deals with overpopulation, so there's people all over the place. Climate change, because the weather's hot. When you say footage outside, they've put like a filter on the lens to make it look hot. And food shortages, they're controlling the food. So the government's like a dictatorship. It's controlling everyone. Bit like Labour today. And this is one of 4 films that Charlton Heston did that had a sci-fi theme to it. The others were Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and The Omega Man, which I've all reviewed on the channel. So this is another great performance by Heston. And it's sad that it's Edward J. Robinson's final film. He knew he was dying. And his final scenes are actually a death scene where the population have the choice. They can go to this place and have their life taken away. So Robinson's character goes to this clinic place where they give them a drink and they let them watch this video footage while they pass away. So that was his final scene. And it was an emotional scene for Charlton Heston because he was actually crying for real watching Edward J. Robinson film his scene. So when you say Charlton Heston's face, that's actually real tears coming from his eyes.
Did you see it? Yes.
Is it beautiful?
Oh, yes.
And it's actually one of the best scenes of the film. Really emotional impact. Especially when you know behind the scenes that it was the actor's final moments. So Heston and Robinson had this great chemistry between them. There's a great scene where Charlton Heston brings this food back to the flat that they live in. He's showing them all these different items of food because he can't get it in 2022. So they're enjoying alcohol and food. And they actually ad-libbed some of the lines as well. It's a great little scene.
Isn't that beautiful?
Sal.
Beef. Oh, my God. How do we come to this?
And the director did a great job as well. He's actually done loads of films. 2000 Leagues Under the Sea, The Vikings, Fantastic Voyage, Dr. Dolittle, The Boston Strangler, 10 Rulleton Place, and loads of others. And he creates this futuristic look without going too far. And he also has the characters act just subtly different to how people act now. They seem to be a little bit less emotional. And he actually films a really interesting scene where there's these protesters because they're complaining about lack of food. And there's these vehicles that come to scoop them up and shove them in the back of this like wagon. So it's a really fairly brutal scene actually. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past the bloody government now to do a trick like that. Next time there's bloody protesters, they want to watch the bloody cells. So the people act slightly different in this film. There's women that you can have when you buy property, and they're called furniture. Heston's character has a relationship with one of them, and she doesn't like being called furniture.
You're a hell of a piece of furniture.
Don't talk to me like that. Please.
Okay.
Fancy calling the poor lass bloody furniture. She's the best looking sofa I've ever seen. Yes, Bourne, she does look good. Hey, Phil, I wonder if that sofa needs any stuffing. So the main story is about Hayes' character investigating this businessman who's been killed, and he finally discovers the truth of what Soylent Green is. And he goes to this factory towards the end of the film and he discovers that it's actually people getting processed into these little green rectangular shapes that people are eating. So it's a really dark story actually.
Soylent Green is made out of people.
There's also an interesting scene where you see people outside wearing face masks, which is quite relevant because in 2022 they were wearing them because of COVID. So this is another classic film that Heston made of his 4 sci-fi films. This one's probably not as good as the others though, because they're so good. Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes and the Omega Man. Very absolute classics. But although this one's not as good, it's still a great film. And it's good in its own subtle way. It's not about its faults though. The ending is a bit abrupt. It could have done with a bit more action as well. It's a little bit drawn out. And it would have helped if it had a higher budget with it being a sci-fi film. So there's some parts of the film that look a little bit cheap. However, apart from all that, it does a great job. It creates a world that's not too over the top. Even though it's supposed to be 50 years into the future, it doesn't get carried away. So I think out of 10, I'd give this one a good 9. 9 out of 10. What do you think, Bones? I do like it. I thought it was a great film, Phil. Top marks. Okay, everybody, bye. Like, subscribe and share.